girl. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh man, I missed you. Don't worry, Patty, so fatty, I missed you too, girl. We're gonna be riding you soon, all right? Don't worry about it. All right, what's up, guys? I apologize for the wait on this video. I know you guys have been really wanting to see more CR250 content, and I've really been wanting to make some stuff, but just with the move home from college and everything, the build kind of got put on the back burner. As you guys know, I kind of stupidly bought this thing and tore it apart right before I had to pack up my entire apartment and move back home to Ohio with my family. So I got it down to just the bare frame, as you can see here, down in Florida, and then all the other parts, let's go take a look. All the other parts got shoved into boxes. So there's a box here, see the air box and the subframe, the pipe. There's a couple more boxes over there, and then boxes over here, bags over there, all this stuff. And all that got thrown in the van under other boxes, just boxes on boxes on boxes. We got home, all the stuff got thrown in the garage and the pole barn and just all sorts of stuff. So it was a bit of a chore trying to find everything, uncover it all, piece it all back together, and just get ready to actually start putting this thing back together. Beyond that, there are a couple other reasons I couldn't. For one, you guys are probably aware I sent the engine out to Adam Pagnelli, who's another YouTuber who does a bunch of really sick bike builds. I sent it out to him to get all refreshed, bottom and top end. He took the motor all the way down to the cases, did a bunch of vapor blasting and Cerakoting, and just made it absolutely sick. He did a phenomenal job, and we'll take a look at that in just a second here. And then of course the suspension I sent out to SGB Racing to get done up with Racetech gold valves and get coated and everything. And the coatings for the suspension, you actually aren't allowed to do it in the USA, so it has to get sent overseas. So I don't actually have the suspension yet. That's the one piece of the puzzle that we're missing. I have literally every other part for this thing to put it all together, just waiting on suspension. So I figured we would get started while we're waiting for the suspension to get back. Beyond that, I think I mentioned it in another video, but my parents actually just downsized from a larger house to a smaller house. And as a result, the garage kind of got filled up with all the extra stuff that wouldn't fit in their house. So you guys will probably see in the background of this video, the garage is in a bit of a state here. So we are working on it, but I just didn't really have a good place to do bike work in here. But I spent the last week or so clearing out a good third of the garage to start doing some filming and stuff, so it's at least somewhat presentable. But yeah, all the parts are pretty much back. We got the engine back, so that's really sick. We got all the parts over here to start putting this thing back together, minus the suspension, so that's what we're gonna get started on today. Things are gonna start happening really quick because, you know, two-strokes are really easy to put back together once you have everything. I can probably get this thing up and running in like a day or two if I had the suspension. So expect a bunch of content on this thing in the next couple of days. It's probably gonna be like a 3 or 4 part series, and this one I'm gonna show you guys all the parts, shout out all the people and companies who helped me gather these parts, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the video getting the frame ready, spray it down with some aluminum wheel cleaner and get it all really nice and good for the motor to drop in. Video 2 will probably be dropping the motor in, getting all of the engine and drivetrain stuff hooked up. Episode 3 will be putting all the accessory pieces on, the brakes, the bars, all that good stuff. And then episode 4 will be suspension and finishing touches like graphics whenever that stuff arrives. So I'm not gonna drag this on into like a 15-part series, just gonna be a short and quick one so that we can get riding this thing, which I know is what you guys really wanna see. We're all about shredding on this channel, although we do occasionally do the bike build. With that being said, let's check out all the parts that we've gathered for this thing and then get this frame ready to drop the motor in. And speaking of motor, look at how beautiful this thing is. Oh my goodness. Look at that. As I said, Adam Pagnelli did all the work on this thing. He took it all the way apart, did some amazing vapor blasting on the cases and Cerakoting, completely rebuilt the bottom and top end with a Wiseco Garage Buddy kit. So this thing is gonna be absolutely fresh. I know there was some concern about the Wiseco crank that you guys had on a couple of videos. Oh, come on, get on my face. There we go. But I think that's like a really, in the past issue. We talked to the Wiseco guys and they said they updated the crankshaft a lot and it's OEM spec or better now, so I'm really excited to try that out and give you guys some feedback on how the new Wiseco crank is, because I know a lot of you guys said don't run it, but you know what, if it can hold up for jaywalk, it can hold up for most of you guys. So we're gonna test that out. But beyond just making it look pretty, Adam actually did do some great work. He did make this thing a bit gnarlier for me, so he contacted Fathead Racing and got it hooked up with one of their really sick anodized heads. So as you can see, it's got the engraved jaywalk in there. Fathead Racing across the top. That's gonna be really sick. We also reached out to Boyson and got it hooked up with the rad valve and some covers for this thing, so the ignition cover and the clutch cover. We got a brand new Tusk Racing clutch pack. Really excited to try that out. I've never tried a Tusk clutch before, but you guys know I go through clutches like crazy, so I'll give you some good feedback on the Tusk clutch, see how that holds up for me. And overall, Adam just made this thing absolutely beautiful. All the build videos are over on his channel, so if you want to go check them out, click right here to go over to Adam's channel. He did a really good job documenting the whole series. They found some issues with the cylinder, got it sent out to Millennium Technologies to get that all redone, and they just made the inside absolutely pristine. So huge thank you to Adam and Millennium and everyone that was involved with that. Incredible job. It looks literally better than brand new. And of course, we're gonna be pairing it up with one of my favorite little pieces for this bike, the Electron Carburetor. Excuse the ketchup and mustard setup we got going here. I'm in the process of changing all of the hoses over to the red like you see here, but I just ran out before I could switch this yellow one and the remaining clear one, but it's gonna look really sick when all those are red. I'm really excited to show you guys the versatility of that thing because I'm up here in Ohio right now, and I would like to get this thing started up here. It's currently like 15 degrees and we're at a way different altitude than it's gonna be in Florida, and obviously the climate will be different there than it is gonna be out in California, and I'm gonna be filming stuff in all these locations, so I'm excited to see how this thing performs without touching anything on it, to give you guys a little bit of feedback on what you can expect if you get one of these in terms of like tunability and what you have to do to them, if anything, to get them to run really well in different elevations and climates and stuff like that. So that'll be really interesting to check that out. Thank you, Electron, that thing's sick. We got tons of other parts scattered around here, so let's do a little bit of YouTube magic. We're gonna use this as our display case and check those out right now. Boom. All right, first thing we got up is the drivetrain stuff here. Makes sense, we did the motor. Now we'll move on to where that power is gonna be going. So of course, I've been trusting Pro Taper for quite a while on my bikes, and I love all their stuff. So we've got the Pro Taper black rear sprocket, black countershaft sprocket, Pro Series 520 MX chain. We got a Tusk shift lever here, so that's gonna look really sick to match the bike. Then we got some really cool gold hardware to go with the sprocket. That should look really cool. Thank you to Pro Taper and Tusk for hooking that up. Let's get on to the next one. All right, next up we got all the controls here. We'll start off with the brakes because that's what I'm most proud of right now. So all the Cerakoting on the brakes, this burnt bronze color that you're seeing here, as well as the, come on, focus, as well as the red Nissan stuff there was done by Moto Blasters LLC down in Southwest Florida. So huge thank you to those guys. They did an amazing job with the Cerakoting. It looks so factory. And we paired that up with the signature Jaywalk 841 Works Connection red anodized cap there. And the reason I'm so excited about this stuff is because, I mean, I'm an okay mechanic, like decent. I don't claim to be some master mechanic or anything like that. I'm sure you guys know. And I've never really messed with brakes before, like taking them apart, but these things needed an absolute refresh. And in order to Cerakote them, you have to take them all the way apart, like take the piston and everything out of them. And so Pro X sent me some refresh kits for both of the master cylinders and both brake calipers, and I'm actually really proud of myself for taking that on and putting it all back together with that stuff, and they turned out so sick. And it's crazy how much of an appreciation you gain for something when you kind of do it yourself. Like, I feel like I could just sit here and pull this lever in all day just because it's so sick knowing that like I did it. So I'm sure for most of you that seems pretty silly and easy, but I'm pretty proud of it. So we got both master cylinders, both brake calipers there, and we're pairing it up with the Works Connection 1, 2, 3 easy clutch perch and lever, so that's gonna look amazing. And then we got the red powder coated triple clamps. That was done by Elite Powders, who's another company local to me down in Florida. So if you guys got some projects going on this winter and you want that factory look, Elite Powders, Moto Blasters LLC, and Works Connection are the people to go to for your controls. And of course, Pro Taper as well. We got some more control stuff over here. We got the oversized bar clamps, my favorite grips, the pillow tops, absolutely amazing. My favorite throttle tube, the ball bearing twister throttle tube, paired up with my favorite bar bend. That's the Pro Taper Evo Wyndham/RM mid bend. You guys ask me all the time what bars it is, so there you go. Wyndham/RM mid, love them. And then we got some neon orange Pro Taper goodies to go with the kit that we're building for this thing. Got a fresh bolt kit from Bolt Hardware over here. It's got literally everything you could ever want. It's specific for the 252 stroke, so that's really sick. It's really gonna set this bike off. It's the small details that make projects look really good, so I'm really stoked to have that. some other works connection goodies, hour meters and stuff, radiator hoses. We're going with all black plastic on this thing. And I decided to go with the updated front number plate and front fender, so that'll be the same as my 450 over there and the new bikes. And then I went with all of the retro plastic for everything else. So shrouds, side number plates, rear fender, that'll be all the old school CR250 stuff, because I'm not really sure if I'm a big fan of the updated rear end on these things. And then of course, Elite Powders did an absolutely killer job with making these neon orange wheels for me, rear and front down there. I know what you guys are thinking, why the heck am I doing neon orange on a Honda and black plastic? Like, am I trying to do backflips on this thing or what? Just bear with me. When you guys see the finished product and the graphics kit and just the whole scheme that we're going for with this thing, you're gonna understand, and it's gonna be amazing. It's really not that hard to guess it based on the wheels and just everything that's been going on so far. I'm sure a couple of you guys already know what's going down, but for those of you who don't, just trust me. Have a little faith that I'm not gonna make a bike look as sick as the 450 back there and then make some absolutely trash looking CR250 that looks like it belongs on some freestyle ramps or something. So just trust me, it's gonna be sick, guys. And then we just got a couple other little things, some steel braided tusk brake lines and some stuff to freshen it up, like clutch cables and stuff like that. And then of course we got all the other parts in the boxes. Like I said, they're not new, you guys have already seen those. And that's pretty much it, really. Those are basically all the parts we have acquired. The frame is already super clean, as you guys can tell, but you know, there are some little spots on there and stuff that could use cleaning up. So I'm gonna spray some aluminum wheel cleaner on this thing, maybe take the Scotch-Brite to it a little bit and get it looking really, really fresh, so that in the next episode we can go ahead and drop that bad boy in it. So let's do it. All right, little guy, you're coming with me. Let's go.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Well, dang, I think that worked out pretty well, actually. I wasn't expecting it to look this good. Like I've said in the past, I'm not really going for perfection on this thing. I mean, the frame was already super clean. I just wanted to get it, you know, that 10-20% cleaner, and that actually did a super good job. I mean, it is like super clean. It's still a little bit wet right now, so you guys might be able to see there's like some weird spots on it, but that's just the wet. And once it dries, it'll look a little bit better. But man, I'm actually really happy with that. That was just some Meguiar's aluminum cleaner and a little bit of Scotch-Brite. That literally took like 5 to 10 minutes, if that. So that's sick. I'm actually really stoked. Originally my plan was to get the whole thing vapor blasted like you've seen some guys doing. But honestly, I feel like it just wasn't warranted. This thing was already super, super clean. So just a little bit of Scotch-Brite, a little bit of aluminum cleaner, and she is looking funky fresh, ready for that fresh motor to go in it and all the fresh parts. This thing is going to be absolutely mint when it's done, and I really had no plans of it being this nice at all. I was planning on just getting the bike, doing the necessary upgrades and refreshes, and then just absolutely whomping on it for a couple of hours until she blew up, and then do something a little gnarlier. But dude, I cannot be happier with how this thing's turning out. I'm really glad that I went for the full build and that so many awesome companies reached out and wanted to help out with it. So I think it's coming along really sick. Definitely well worth the wait, because now it's gonna start coming together really, really quick. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Very, very excited for what's to come. Hope you guys are excited. It won't be long before it is getting absolutely just ringed out on the track. Before I close out this video, I wanna ask you guys to please send your thoughts and prayers out to Brian Moreau and his whole family. For those of you who don't know, he's a young French rider who rides for the Lucas Oil KTM team over here in America. Was just making his Supercross debut last weekend in Tampa, had a really scary crash, broke a vertebrae in his neck. There's not a lot of information yet on his recovery or what exactly is going on right now, but spinal cord neck injuries are always really scary. So praying for him, hope that he makes a full recovery and a quick recovery and he's back on his feet and back on his bike. So yeah, just if you guys can spare a minute, send a prayer out to him and his family. You never like to see that sort of stuff. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for tuning into this video. We have a lot to do over the next couple days putting this thing together, and then we're gonna absolutely shred it. So hope you guys are stoked. I'm excited, and we'll catch you in the next one where we drop the motor in this bad boy. Peace out, guys.
Jack Frost nipping at your